Just seeing if I'm live over on my stream here. Okay, let's see. I'm not sure. I'm not seeing my live over on my stream. I just want to make sure that this is live before we get going. Got about a minute before I had scheduled this, but I wanted, there we go. Okay, I am live. All right. Hey everyone, welcome to Liz's Scrappin' Studio. I am Liz and I'm a independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I just received on my porch the paper pumpkin for December. And it's very rare that I get them one of the first people to get one, so it's kind of cool. I'm usually in the middle of the pack when these arrive. So December, this was the first box for the new promotion that they had done back less than a month ago, where we had a special for Paper Pumpkin subscriptions. So this is the first one. It's called Watercolors in Bloom, and it just arrived on my doorstep. So I thought I would do a quick live today. We'd go through what's in it, make one of the cards, one from each of the 3 cards that come in it, and then I can see what else I can make with it in the future to use up the materials. So, all right, so the first thing is that we have a stamp set, and the stamp set has "Dear friends, thank you. The little things you do for me mean so much. Miss you so much. You make me feel loved." And then we have a bunch of flowers or leaf stamps and things that are part of it. And the Stampin' Spot is Night of Navy, so we will set those aside. And then we have more tissue paper. I hope everyone saves this tissue paper. This is the one thing I do save. I don't save the boxes. I know some people do, but I do save the tissue paper. And I put it in my little tissue paper pack that I can use for wrapping presents. So hopefully people are doing the same thing. All right, so these are the cards that are part of the Watercolors in Bloom. And it's very much a blue-green color palette, so really, really pretty. Some of my favorite colors. And I do apologize if you hear my dog barking. She gets very restless in the afternoons lately, and so don't always know why. She's just an older dog, and she just gets restless and starts barking at things. So anyway, okay, so we are going to unpackage all of this and take a look at it. And so we've got our bling and our dimensionals here. So good, these are coppery colors, so they're not gold, they're more of a copper color. Those are pretty. And then we have tear and tape, and we've got the pieces. These are these are going to be part of the card fronts. Obviously we have our envelopes. Again, the one thing I love about Paper Pumpkin is that the envelopes are always decorated. And it's not something that I typically do when I do my cards, but I do love in the kits how the envelopes are also coordinated with it. Okay, so we've got this, which is the Night of Navy, and that looks like shamrock. I'm not sure. Let's see if we have the colors here that we can go through. Again, this is the stamp set, the pieces for the stamp set. So the colors are Garden Green, Night of Navy, Pretty Peacocks, Secret Sea, Shaded Spruce, and Bronze. So this then to me is going to be Night of Secret Sea, and I think Shaded Spruce. I'm pretty sure that's not, well, maybe that is Garden Green. I'm not sure. Shaded, I think it's Shaded Spruce, so I think that's the color, but a really nice leaf design on that one. We've got our sentiment punch outs here. We've got die cuts. Then we've got this ombre wash. We've got vellum. So these have vellum pieces that have been die cut out. And then we have this nice blue, green, teal color wash. And then we have some more laser cut cutouts that are part of this. Okay, so we're going to set that aside. We'll set a couple of these things aside, and we're going to go ahead and pull out our pieces that are going to make up our cards. So I'm not, if you haven't done a paper pumpkin in a while, again, they are all pictures. They show you how to put together all 3 cards on the instruction sheet. And then there is one page that shows you how to separate out the pieces to create essentially packets that you can use to put together. So card 1 is going to use this base. So we're just going to put the bases over here to the side to the left. It's going to use the long strip from the die cut here. So we'll pull that guy out. And I do like to separate all of these pieces into piles when I'm making these, just to make assembly faster. We're going to have a vellum piece here. So we're going to grab the rectangular vellum piece. And this is really thick vellum. I don't know if you can tell by just seeing it coming through, but it is not a flimsy vellum. It is a thick piece of vellum. So I'll put that aside. And then we need to have one of these pieces here from the die cut sheet. And let's see, is there something else that we need from the die cut sheet? It looks like we need the little flower, one of these little flowers from the die cut sheet. So we're going to grab that. And then the last piece we need is the square for holding the sentiment. Like so. All right. And so that is for card 1. So if we go back to the front part and we look at the assembly instructions, it's going to give you step by step. So I do tend to make one card exactly the way that they show it in the instructions, and then I will probably make changes to the cards, the secondary cards, or in this case, I really like these card bases. I think they'd make a great components for a layout. So I might actually save some of this to create a layout with. Okay, so this one says, "Miss you much." And again, you don't have to do what it says here. You can make a choice as to what you want to have on this card. So I think the thank you fits. So I think I'm going to do thank you instead, because I use a lot more thank you cards. I don't tend to send miss you cards or anything like that. And again, I'm really sorry about my dog if you are hearing that. And then I am also going to grab the so much, and I'm going to put that on here as well, because we're not going to change the colors, so it's just one color. And I'm going to season this up. So I've said this many times, when you're dealing with photopolymer stamps, I do like to season my stamps, and that just means running it across my skin, on my hand, or on the back of my hand, in order for me to remove the coating that's on it, and allows me to get a better stamped image. So I'm going to pull out my regular Night of Navy. You can obviously use your Stampin' Spot, but I have a big stamp set or stamp pad, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. And I'm just making sure that I have gotten enough ink on it. And we are going to go ahead, oops, I'm missing the U. There we go. Okay. And we're going to center that and stamp that down like so. So thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, close this up. Oh wait, no, we still need to stamp. We have 2 more stamps that we need to do. We have to do on this piece, we need to stamp the leaves. So it looks like we have the big one in the middle and then the small ones off to the side, about above center. So not dead center in this piece. It's higher up. So again, seasoning that up and just making sure we've got good ink coverage. And we'll stamp that. And then we will take our other smaller flower or smaller leaf design, and I'm actually just going to flip it over and put it on the back side of that block because this is a big block. And we're going to stamp this one twice. Whoops. Let's see if I can get that. All right, and then we're going to stamp it again on the other side. All right, so now we've got that all stamped up, like so, and I got ink all over my fingers. That is, be careful to pay attention to that so that you don't end up messing up your card. I have done that plenty of times. Okay, so now that we have that, now we're going to start doing our assembly. So they use tear and tape. I'm going to just use my mono adhesive. And because vellum shows through, if you look at how this is laid together, the vellum is actually on the sides. And this is going to lay directly on top of it. You just want to make sure that your adhesive is not going to show through when you work with vellum, that you're covering it up. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this down the middle of this card, like so. And as you can see when you use vellum that your adhesive will show through. So you want to make sure that you put adhesive when you're using vellum where it's not going to show, or it's going to be covered up like it is in this case. I don't know why my dog's barking so much. All right, so we've done that. Okay, so we've got our other pieces that we need to put adhesive on, and this is where we're going to use our dimensionals. So we're just going to grab these. I do like to break them apart like this, just because then they come off easier. And we're going to put dimensionals on this piece, this just here at the top, and then we're going to put a dimensional in the middle of that flower, and then we're going to add 3 dimensionals to the sentiment, like so. So they just put them in a triangle. So we adhered that down. So our next thing is we're going to put our sentiment and our, oops, we have to put adhesive right here. We're going to go ahead and put this piece down because this is going to determine where our sentiment's going to go. And you can see it's overlapping the pieces that you stamped. Like that. And we're actually going to lift this guy up. I shouldn't have pushed down on the edge there. And took off the backing. And we're going to slide this underneath. Like so. Like that. And then we're going to take our flower and we're going to put that right here at the base. Like that. And then we can grab our bronze embellishments and we can add those to that card. And card number 1 is all done. That's really pretty. That's a really pretty. I love this base. I love the colors in this. I tend to be a blue-green girl, like I said, so I really like those colors when they come across, which is why I'm waiting patiently for the product of the month, the blue papers. That's coming, but I just got my notification that things shipped, so probably won't be here till next week. But blue is my favorite color. All right, so the card 2 is going to use this base. It's going to use the oval sentiment area. So we're going to grab that guy. We are going to grab, this is using this die cut, and we're going to grab a flower as well from that die cut. And I think this is using a bigger flower. So there's actually 2 flowers. There's a small flower and a big flower, and I didn't notice that the first time. So I'm glad I didn't mess up on the last card, that I didn't pay attention. So we're going to grab a big flower, it looks like, and then we've got the stamp set, and then we need the oval, the large oval vellum piece here, and then the last piece we need to grab is the oval die cut, laser cut piece here. All right, so I think we've got all of our pieces now for card 2. So we're going to then flip this to our card 2 assembly instructions. And the first thing we need to do is we need to grab our sentiment again. I lost my sentiment. My thank you. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we're going to actually switch this one out. And I'm going to just grab a paper towel because I have a little bit of ink on my block and I want to make sure that that doesn't transfer anywhere. Okay, so this one is saying thank you for the little things you do. So we're going to actually switch out thank you so much, and we are going to actually use for the little things that you do. So I'm actually going to put them both on this one block. Hopefully everything will fit. I'm going to get inky fingers, I can already tell. Like so. And they should fit on this block, they do. Again, I'm going to season up those letters, and we're going to grab our pad, and we're going to go ahead and grab our oval, and we're going to go ahead and stamp that. Knowing that we're going to add some flowers down there, or little vines down there, we want to make sure that we've got enough room for that. They stamped it twice, or they stamped first the thank you and then the every little things you do for me, but I don't see the point in doing that. I can put it all on one stamp. So perfect, that looks good. All right, and now we're going to grab our little flower, and we're going to just pick up a different block that I happen to have sitting here. Season that guy up. The smaller stamp's not so critical that you season it, but I think it's good to do it anytime you're using the stamp for the first time. All right. Rotate this like so. All right. So thank you for the little things you do. Now that our next thing that we need to do is we need to again use our adhesive. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and put our adhesive on this die cut first, and I'm going to lay that on my oval. Get that centered. And they don't have this popped up, but I am going to pop this up because, again, I want some dimension. So I'm going to just add a little bit of dimension to this and use the dimensionals to pop up my sentiment. Like that. And then we are going to add a couple of dimensionals to our to our leaf pieces here, which I probably didn't need to do, but that's okay. And we're going to add that. I'm actually going to take that one off, I think, and put this one down a little farther, like that. I think we'll put this on first. Actually, I'm changing my mind. I do agree that I should put this on the base of the card first before I add that last piece. So this is me not paying attention to directions, which is something that I sometimes do. Okay, so we want to center that, and I just put, again, adhesive on the back. Now we can add this one, and then we've got the flower that we're going to add here, and I'm actually going to put that up on a dimensional as well, like so. And then we are going to pull out our copper embellishments. I am so sorry about my dog. I hope that it's not too difficult to hear me over her barking. Always happens when I turn on the camera. She decides that she's gonna have a barking fit. But again, love this copper edging. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a copper edging all the way around this piece that goes really nicely. Would never have thought to put copper with these colors. Really like that one. All right. These are gonna go fairly quickly. Okay, so card number 3. Card number 3 is going to be one of these. The base is going to be the monochromatic blue in this case. And we are going to grab the, so out of the die cuts, we're going to grab the rectangle that has the copper on the edges. And we are going to grab, we have to grab a vellum piece. So again, there's one vellum piece that's a rectangle. The smaller rectangle we're going to grab. Can throw that away. And then we're going to grab the small leaf, two-tone leaf here. I think that's the only other thing we need, and we need a small flower as well. So we're going to grab the, looks like the tiniest flower. So actually there's like 3 sizes. There's a medium, a small, and a large. Next time I'll pay more attention because I may have used the wrong flower size on that first card. So this one looks like it is the smallest flower there. Okay, so what's the stamping is our next step. So we're going to go ahead and move off these pieces. And what we're going to stamp here is, "Dear friend, you make me feel loved." Again, I'm going to stick with the thank you, but I am going to take off the larger sentiment, and I'm going to just do thank you. Again, I'm going to make these cards in ways that I know that I'm going to use them. I'm not going to necessarily follow exactly what they have put down because it may not be a card that I would ever send. I think you know who you send cards to. You know who, or the stash that you need to give as gifts. And for me, thank you cards are the most common type of card that I tend to use. Okay, so we are going to do some assembly here. So in this case, what it's saying is we're going to put glue, we're going to do dimensionals on the vellum piece, but we're going to glue this directly down on top of the vellum. I feel like I'm missing a piece. But, oh, I am missing a piece. Well, I'm fine. I'm fine with this. Sorry, I didn't pull all my pieces out. So there is a sentiment, just a plain sentiment square. rectangle that you can use. I just did it right on top of this piece. I think either way will work. So my bad for not paying attention to pulling all the pieces, but you can use just this straight sentiment and then you can create a layering effect of these pieces. This is not straight, so I'm going to fix that. Nope, that's crooked too. I am not having a good day for being straight here. Let's see if I can line this up and get it straighter. I think I'm trying to rush a little too fast here. Okay, does that look straight? Oh yeah, that's much better. I don't know why. It looks like this was cut funny, so anyway. All right, so we're going to put some dimensionals back here and add that to the this piece, like so. If you wanted to, I could go back and I could stamp on this and then cover it up because it would be covered up, but I don't think it matters one way or the other. Okay, so we're going to add dimensionals to the back of this as well. And there we go. It's always the fun part, watching somebody take dimensionals off the backings off of the dimensionals. Okay, so we bring our card over and we're going to center this here. And then we have our two pieces that we're going to add. This is, I think this is going to go behind here, so we'll put a little bit of adhesive on that, like so. And then we have our small flower. And again, we're just going to add some adhesive because we already have that up on a dimensional. We're going to add that flower right there. You know what? I think we're going to move this. We're going to stick it behind this, like so. And I think we need a dimensional back behind this guy. So we're going to just move some things around to make it work because I want it closer to the flower. Okay. And then we can add our little copper pieces. Like so. And we have card number 3. So I'll bring out the other 2 cards so that you can look at them. But the nice thing about the paper pumpkin is A, everything comes in the box, but also B, they're really easy to take on the go because of that. You have everything that you need, and you've got some great thank you cards in this case that I can add to my stash that are nice and colorful. They still feel a little bit like winter, but are very colorful and fun to play with. So I can't wait to look at this in a different light and see what I can do with some of these pieces to potentially create a scrapbook layout. Because I really think that these colors, especially the 2 that are very similar as far as the washes go, I think using these 2 is going to make a really interesting layout. So I'm going to play around a little bit with that. This one would probably be on a different type of layout. I probably would not put them together, but these 2 I think I can make work together. All right, everyone. Quick little pop in. Hopefully you got to see how the paper pumpkin went together this month, and if I have any other card ideas for the paper pumpkin, I will certainly create a video on those so that I can show you some alternatives. But for today, that is December's Paper Pumpkin Live unboxing. Have a good one, and I will see you on my next video.